So, I'm gonna be straight with you guys. When I first saw this whole SpongeBob the anime thing pop up in my recommendations, I was like, I'll watch it whenever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember watching this dude's SpongeBob anime opening back in the day and being all, holy shit, did Squidward just freaking murder Patrick? At the time, I thought it was a damn cool viral video about a children's cartoon, and then I just went about my normal day. But anyway, I saw this same guy had ended up making a whole ass short about Annie SpongeBob. And to be honest, I didn't exactly have the highest expectations. I just figured it would be a 5 to 8 minute sequence of a vaguely humanized SpongeBob doing his usual cartoon antics in an equally vague anime style. And it would be filled with a bunch of low-hanging fruit jokes like over-the-top reactions, stupid long inner monologues, or SpongeBob going all, "Notice me, Squidward-senpai." It's been years since I've seen Narmak's work, dude. Cut me some slack. But eventually, I finally sat my ass down to actually watch the damn thing. And I can say with the utmost sincerity that I was completely and utterly blown away. Now, SpongeBob SquarePants is one of those shows that needs no introduction. Like, we all know about the little sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea, absorbent and yellow and porous is he, so I'm not gonna bore you with a recap. All you really need to know is that it's a Nickelodeon cartoon that probably lasted longer than it should have, but I'm not getting into that right now. So, the first thing that caught my attention about this short is that it's damn near 15 minutes long. And I'm like, okay, it's actually the standard runtime for a normal 11-minute episode. Impressive. As for the plot, it basically boils down to this. SpongeBob arrives at the Krusty Krab and finds out that the one-off villain Bubble Bass has made off with the Krabby Patty formula. And Squidward went after him because apparently he's willing to die for his job now. Anyway, SpongeBob tells Mr. Krabs to fuck off and then he runs on over to Jellyfish Fields to save the day. And he runs into Sandy-chan and Patrick Sensei, the latter of whom is now some kind of philosophical sage? Eventually, SpongeBob finds Squidward getting his ass kicked by Bubble Bass, and the two of them throw down in the sickest anime fight ever. If it wasn't readily obvious, I love this. I love this a lot. Now, I can name off 10,500 reasons for why this fan animation is so phenomenal, but I can only say so much before I devolve into a blathering pile of gush. And really, I think I can break the appeal of SpongeBob the anime down to two main reasons. One, this fan animation has some fucking high production values, dude. When you look at this thing, you can almost believe that it was produced, directed, written, and animated to be like a real anime. And in actuality, it kinda was. Like, yeah, the art design seems a little unrefined at times, but that could very well be a deliberate stylistic decision. I mean, the gradients in Patrick's skin, the color in Sandy's eyes, the fact that it's actually animated on twos, I think. The attention to detail is just mwah. Then there's the voices, and holy shit, man. Like, I wasn't expecting Tom Kenny to start speaking in Japanese or anything, but this went way beyond my expectations. Everyone approached their character with absolutely zero shame. Even the vocal dissonance of SpongeBob suddenly sounding like a scene in anime protagonist didn't get to me. That's how believable they were. And of course, the music and sound design. Now, I'm no expert on this front, but I know quality when I hear it. They really went so far as making sure SpongeBob's squeaky shoes sounded totally legit. And that's not even getting into the BGM, man. The amount of professionalism brought to this was more than I ever could have imagined. Of course, how pretty it all looks doesn't mean squat if the content itself is shit. You can't polish a turd, as the saying goes. But luckily, this fan animation is not a turd because, and this is reason 2 by the way, it's an honest-to-God passion project. This is a project that was done by a man who was genuinely a fan of animation. It's like he stripped away Bikini Bottom from the cartoon and built a perfect replica from top to bottom. The flowers in the sky, the barrel chairs in the Krusty Krab, the references to past episodes, and the incidental side characters in the opening. And the memes, man. Oh my god, the fucking memes. There's too many to list, but my choice quotes are, "A monster with big meaty claws," and "The prophecy about the ugly barnacle," and of course, "What happened to F is for friends?" Narmak clearly grew up on the series just like the rest of us, and it shows, dude. It really shows. And then there's translating everything into an anime format. Now, like I said, I expected some half-assed jokes like monologues, overreactions, and lots of screaming, and there definitely is, but this just hits different. This isn't some weeb's interpretation of what they think anime is, but rather, this is exactly what anime is. Specifically, the style that was used a lot back in the 80s and 90s. Narmak must be a true anime connoisseur, because I don't think you can get that level of detail unless you really break down anime as an art form and dissect it through an understanding of Japanese cinematography. Everything is just too deliberate here, man. Like the close-ups on SpongeBob's eyes, the side profile when Patrick was expositing, the brief slow-motion cut after Bubble Bass punched out Squidward, even the things like the commercial bumper eye-catch things, or how they cut corners in the animation by using a still frame when SpongeBob glomps Squidward is just way too on point. This is the work of someone who really gets storytelling for a Japanese audience. And I gotta give a special mention to the sound design, y'all. Opening aside, the use of music and SFX in this thing is just masterful. Not only is the theme music used purposely, you got those non-diegetic sounds like those wind swoosh things going on during the fight sequence, the little bell going off to punctuate Sandy's comedic reaction, and of course, knowing when to appropriately have no sound at all. This ain't no anime parody, people. This is an anime, period. Now obviously this fan animation isn't perfect. It can look a little stilted at times, and making the secret formula a syringe is, a thing. But at this point, I'm just like, who the cares? Let me tell you, there was one point when I was watching this where I took off my critical lens, and I realized that I was enjoying myself. I didn't care about pseudo-analyzing it or making some offhand joke about how unexpectedly good it was. All I cared about was SpongeBob avenging Squidward's defeat and kicking Bubble Bass's ass. I jumped into this shit and ended up loving it like a real anime with zero irony whatsoever. And that was when I understood that this was something completely and truly fun. Honestly, I never expected I'd be going over a fan animation, but this was just too spectacular to not cover. But anyway, I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. So if you want to support the growth of this channel, please leave a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Until then, stay tuned!